So Ghost of Tabor has had a lot of guns added to it, and some of them have been problematic to say the least. At least for PvPers. For PvE, it doesn't really matter because AI is AI either way. But today, for all of you, I have three guns that were so powerful that they had to be nerfed in that sense of the word, nerfed to balance it out for PvE gameplay in general. Of course, we don't play PvP, but I'm just gonna show you these three guns, and yeah, I'll see you guys in raid. So one of the first and foremost guns that was such a was such a huge problem that we were nerfed, and we're going according to how big of a problem it caused was the bar itself. Now you may think that this isn't actually that huge of a problem, but back in my time, the bar was a level one or two gun, and because obviously it was an LMG, no one used it initially until um the Tabor media team decided to make a post about how incredibly good the bar is, and actually showed it in work. And if you all see that video, it shows that the bar was actually surprisingly able to take down a collector with just 30-06. And it was pretty quick too as compared to most of the other uh, bullets out there. So so let's talk a bit about the bar, shall we? The bar is chambered in, well, 30-06, like I specified. It's a really big bullet. Realistically, realistically, a bullet this big is obviously gonna hurt. This is, what does that look like? AP. That is, I have AP. I have a. Do I just have one bullet of AP? AP 30-06. So it's definitely pretty strong. Is one word to call it. This is basically the great equalizer in Tabor, or one of the great equalizers in Tabor. It was so powerful because you would
Hej ty, zemi, nebo chcípneš, vole.
you would bring it. Hold on. Because it at that point in time it was like a level 1 or a level 2 gun. And what you would basically do is you would bring it into your raids, and with it you'd be able to take down basically like anyone with like the top tier gear. It was just that good apparently. Um and I will say, it did seem like a pretty big problem because I mean it was able to take down like the collector gear and stuff like that with just a couple body shots. And I mean aside from the fact that it can't take a suppressor or it has absolutely no customization, it isn't really that bad of a gun. It's a LMG, so it's pretty bulky, but also as you can see it's not as heavy as you would think it would be. In fact, when I use this, I've used. That's a hot sauce over there. I've used this gun multiple times on my channel. My first video of my first ever video was me using the bar. That was like kind of like my rebound video, because at that point I just spend like most of my time just lazing about, not doing my YouTube anymore. But then shit happened, and then I guess it just got me back into it. But oh well. So it got to the point where it was just absolutely ridiculous because you would have people who were bringing nothing but bars in, and then they would just go kit stealing. Cause I mean, at the end of the day, you could just shoot someone who had better armor than you, and then you would take their armor and weapons and everything. Probably the wife and kids as well. Uh, so it was that huge of a problem that Combat Waffle, which apparently a lot of people claim that they don't listen, decided that yeah, we get that the bar is an issue, so uh, they made the sensible nerf of nerfing it to Spectre level 3, which is great because that means that you actually have to kind of work for the bar, because beforehand you could just buy Nuclear Knight and then you would have the bar right out the gate, or if it was Spectre 1, you would have you would just have it right out the gate, right? So now that it's nerfed to Spectre 3, you at least have to grind a fair bit. Not a lot, because I'm gonna be honest, Spec 3 is honestly quite easy to obtain these days, especially with like the whole rework to the quests and stuff. And yeah, now it's really it's much more difficult, at least, and people who do end up at Spectre 3 are people who are taking the game more seriously anyways. Therefore, having that equalizer present is a good thing. So I'm pretty sure I've been told that a flare shell spawns here now. I can't exactly confirm or deny, but they said near Narrows, so I assume it would be there. If you're wondering why the audio is so incredibly muffled, by the way, I'm wearing a Ronin. So because I'm trying to get minty up, so. And two of the most commonly repeatable quests. I'm pretty sure that's the one with AP. Oops. I guess the bullet's gone. It's to kill people with a Ronin and a 6B102, which is mainly what I'm using right now, and a gear tech, but the gear tech is kind of secondary. I'm not saying that I'm against the idea of the headphones, but I really prefer to go deaf as opposed to losing sound. Well, back when I was in the military, because yes, we're back on military story times with Okami again. I mean, in real life it's obviously different. Here, my headphones are the literal headphones that I will use. If I need to turn down the shit, I can turn it down. I don't need in-game headphones to do that, but I mean, it technically is a pretty, admittedly, like, not a half bad idea to add headphones into the game. And I mean, they do give an in-game advantage. They do allow you to easier pinpoint certain sounds,
Hej ty,
but
kde vy nebo chcípeš, vole? Hej ty, k zemi, nebo chcípneš, vole?
But I can't. I literally can't hear anything when I do use it, so it's not for me. It just makes everything muted and weird sounding, if I'm gonna be honest. So I guess the question you should be asking yourself is, should you use the bar? Yes. If you're Spectre 3 and you need a good gun, specifically in PvE, and you're mid wipe, what do you use? Well, if you're Spectre 3, you might just pick this gun because well, it is kind of relatively expensive, but if it's either that or constantly losing your your kits to, well, PV other people who have done nothing but play the game 24/7, grind it like 5 Tatra kits and bring them into raid back to back to back. Well, this gun might just give you a little opportunity to you know, take back a couple, take 1 or 2 of those Tatra kits, you know. That's the one thing I will say about PvP that is pretty nice, is that you can secure yourself some really good kits very early on if you are lucky enough to just kill certain people. But yeah, that's it for the first raid. I'll see you guys in the next raid with the next gun. So, next on our list is the FN Fell. Why the FN Fell, right? So when the FN Fell was originally added to Tabor, it was actually Spectre 4, and people realized that this was basically the best assault rifle in the game. That's without competition. There's no real way to sugarcoat it. This was just easily the best gun in Tabor, because it was Spectre 4. It's chambered in 7.62 by 51. It is and 7.62 by 51 in of itself is already basically a godly round. It's basically completely unstoppable. Like, so the Tabor devs eventually recognized, like, wait, we can't put this in Spectre 4. So rumors started to circulate that they were going to actually, like, put it in Spec 5. So people started to panic buy as many FN files as they can, and sure enough, it pretty much got nerfed to Spec 5, and since then it's been it's pretty much a more balanced gun now. I mean, it makes sense for it to be Spec 5. At least it makes no sense for it to be Spec 4, considering how good the gun really is. Interesting. So what's there to say? About this gun? That, basically. It's basically a better G3A3. You've used well, I haven't uploaded that video yet, but I will soon. If you see that video of me where I talk about the G3A3 in general, I basically, or if you haven't, I basically say in the G3 that the G3A3 is basically like the bar and the equalizer if you apparently don't feel like using real assault, a real assault rifle. Because 7.62 by 51 is without a doubt probably one of the best the best bullets out there. It's well, I don't really want to talk about the Tika, but I guess technically it is the bullet for the Tika. It's the bullet for the G3, for the M1A SAS, and, well, of course, the FAL. I don't think that I personally think that nowadays with the addition of like Mamba and stuff, it does become a little bit more important to run weapons like the FN FAL. So definitely So should definitely consider picking this up once you reach Spectre 5, but well, once you reach Spectre 5, you pretty much completed com done what any average player should do. Everything else is kind of secondary. Um wow. Guess it's a good thing I brought an extra bandage, huh? So yeah, they've added Promodol back in the game now, I guess. It's not like it's not like it being gone was that huge of a problem anyways. With it being removed, it just meant more space for for epinephrine vigor and NRSs, I guess. Which was definitely a good thing because I've never seen more NRSs in my life than that. Well, except for when it was like really early in Tabor and they had had a basic guaranteed NRS because their system wasn't in depth yet. So all they did was just put the, if you remember, I don't know if how many of y'all remember, but once upon a time there was a hole in your arm. Not an actual hole, but think of it like a USB port but circular, and inside, and you would basically fit your NRS into there for you to, well, heal. And the crazy thing was that you could stick it in there and then you could basically continue fighting because it would just stay in there. So definitely was a little cracked because before that you could just, if you were losing but fortunately behind cover, you just fall back, stick it in, and then keep fighting. There is probably some occasion before that has happened that someone was fighting and then unluckily someone stuck the health shot in, and then at the exact moment they got shot at, they instantly generated a tick of health, which basically meant that they had more health than than the opponent, which would definitely swing swing the fight into their favor. But then again, it was like the early stages and almost no one actually owned the game. Uh, you know, so times like these, I really wish that I had bought that I bought Founding Fathers. I mean, it was right in front of me, but I thought it was sketchy as hell, so I didn't get it. I mean, to be fair, I was buying it off a website, so very suspicious. It's very suspicious. And I think like Founding Fathers was also available like during the first period, but I thought to myself, well, I wasn't gonna play the game that much, so there's no need for me to get Founding Fathers. And oh boy, how wrong I was, right? I mean, it's not like I bought that many DLCs. Clint Eastwood, John Wick, and I guess, well, actually, I think those are, and Nuclear Knight. Was that tally up to? Not much at all, to be honest. So I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to have it, but there's no use in wallowing over it because it's never coming back. I mean, I could buy an account, but that is kind of pointless, and I'm not gonna spend money on buying an account because I'm pretty sure whatever that price is gonna be, it's factored in to calculate the DLC. And I mean, it is a collector's an account with it is kind of like a collector's item now, so it would definitely be priced up for like probably hundreds, or I guess if people want to highball themselves, they could sell it for like $1,000. I mean, that's why I'm so terrible at all those simulator games, because I don't know how to I don't have it in me to highball people. No giraffe. Where's my giraffe? Okay, so we just need to visit prison and well, church, a fish, I guess. Anyways, back to the fell. So what did I basically, obviously there's like there's a best weapon in each category. For assault rifles, this is definitely like the Spectre 5 gun to use. It's there's no really any other reason to use any other assault rifle except maybe like the MCX Spear, but the MCX Spear, well, which we will discuss later, isn't a gun that you can find in raid. So that's the tier up, you know. We went from stuff that got their Spectre levels nerfed to something that you could initially buy in from Spectre to just you straight up can't buy it anymore because it was just that problematic. But we will talk about it later. So a lot of people, so the FNFL, I think honestly, at this point in time of the game might legitimately be better than the MCX Spear. I mean, it's a crazy and bold statement to make, but the MCX Spear, unfortunately, due to its rarity, will almost never get seen in raid, and it also has the unfortunate gatekeep of the only magazines that you can find are the ones that come with the gun, or if you what the fuck? Or if you buy them from Spectre 5, because I mean, it is kind of fair that in the case of well, the MCX Spear, it used to be in the game, and it's not really that problematic of a, it's not really like a boss drop or anything, so it makes sense that you can buy its magazines from Spectre 5. But you know, that does mean that you kind of have to wait till your Spectre 5 till you can start properly using the gun. And let's be honest, like half of you by the time it's not meant as an insult, but for the most part, the general player base will only reach Spec 5 either 3/4 or almost at the end of White, because well, I mean, the general sensible audience anyways. If we're specifically speaking about like the children, they'll probably reach Spec 5 within 1 or 2 weeks and then say the game is boring immediately. I mean, just the way it is, you know. the children are the worst enemy of Tabor, honestly. All they do is complain and bitch and cry and moan and then say unfunny things. You know, the amount of like children that I've had to deal with in like my YouTube lives and stuff. I mean, to just flat out recount it, there was a couple days ago when I was just doing my regular streams. This child comes in and just starts like, I don't know. I think maybe this child was under the impression that I was one of those like types of streamers that are like fucking ADHD as fuck, and like maybe I'm like XQC or something. But you know, I prefer a little bit of maturity in my audience, and well, I obviously wasn't gonna miss the guy if if I banned him. So he starts spamming a lot of stupid shit. And I was patient, all things considered. I gave him so many chances to just behave normally, but I guess that's a little bit too much to ask for certain people. So I finally caved and banned him when he was actively disrespectful towards me directly. He told me to told me to, you know, the typical SYBAU or something. So I just got him gone. The guy who was also like trolling around with him was also gone, and then at least one of them came back with an alt account, which I also swiftly deleted. I don't know what the fuck was their problem, but you know, kids these days are wild as fuck, and it's really more indicative of the parents' fault more than anything. It really is kind of like the parents' fault for, number one, you letting the internet raise their kid. Number two, you know, letting them have access to a computer or phone or whatever in the first place. I mean, sure, I was definitely kind of a wild child back in the day, but I didn't think I was ever as bad as some of these people. I mean, okay, maybe I was as bad, but I mean, I've grown up at the very least. But, you know, I can have faith in them to grow up, or I can stop enduring their bullshit and then maybe make them reflect on what they done after they got banned. And I think I'll choose to accept that I will lose a portion of my audience to preserve the sanity of the general chat. I've always been real with I've always kept it real, you know, for the most part. I'll always try to keep it as real as possible. I mean, I try to be nice. But sometimes being nice is not really an option, no longer a feasible option, so it rightfully escalates beyond that. But that's weird. That's Did we not pass the place where Mamba would have already spawned? Well, let's go check it out, I guess. I only have a 6B102, so this could go really, really badly, but it doesn't matter. I've already gotten my point across, so let's do a little boss hunting, shall we? Let's see what we got on our hands. Where is he? Why is he here? Why is the sky blue? Why are boobs good? It's good use of my headphones, I guess. Hello, El Presidente. Well, he's certainly moved on. But where? So you kind of, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the whole, this gun is fucking fantastic, right? Cause I mean, can you really say any other gun out there can take down, Mamba that easily? Honestly, I kind of got what I. It's actually really great because I got exactly what I wanted coming to Island. The whole point of me coming to Island, actually. One thing you'll realize is that I actually purposely kind of go to like, I mean, I would say that in terms of making content, at least Island is kind of a little bit impractical because the place is so huge that you kind of have to, you know, your Island section is gonna be a lot longer than all of your other sections because of like the long exfils, the traversal time, everything. Basically, so, but pretty worth it. Yeah, it's. I mean, you can clearly see how long it's been because. Oh, am I on safe? Thought I was on single. Honestly, this is probably one of the best armors for PvEers out there because this armor is pretty much just superior, I guess. It's level 6 protection, which is one of the highest, and most AI shoot you in the body anyways. So and so it's pretty good. Pretty good, I would say. There we go. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, just based off the fact that, you know, Mamba can be taken down quite easily, it's I would say it's pretty good gun in of itself. Do I have an orange? I do. Okay. I learned the other day that I can spray down onto my nuclear night, onto my Delta container. It's kind of redundant, but I mean, this thing looks pretty cool, so I don't mind. I'm guessing you spawned outside. Force grab on that was pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. Knock knock. So, I would say that was actually a pretty successful showcase and to be on TBH because, well, I mean, pit it up against the closest thing to a real human, right? Can't wait for the snarky comment. No one cares about what you playing PvE. Go play some PvP, you stupid entertaining fuck. But then it's like the same people who these are probably like the same people who who go onto the Tabor Reddit, because yes, that is a thing, unfortunately, and go and shill themselves playing the game, which is hilarious. Because imagine needing to self promo yourself. Am I right? I built this with the word of God or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what God says because I'm agnostic. All right, I'll see you guys in the next raid. All right, so MCX Spear, I kind of teased it already the last kind of teased it already the last raid where we actually crazily enough took down Mr. Mamba with it. So, MCX Spear. This is basically like the step above the FNFL, but that was kind of before the FNFL was actually realized to be actually like, wait a minute, this is actually like kind of better. So, what makes the MCX Spear good? Well, it's chambered in a pretty powerful round, as always, because of course, you know, specifically 6.8. So the reason why 6.8 is such a powerful round is because 6.8 is pretty much innately armor piercing. So, can you imagine putting armor piercing 6.8? I mean, it's now a lot easier to find all the types of you know, ammunition that you need for all your separate needs, but specifically if you put armor piercing 6.8, you're pretty much unstoppable. As you can see, I have here kind of like a hybrid DMR and CQB gun. Whew. Not bad. So 30 rounds of 6.8. Now, the only thing that would technically rival this would be funnily enough collector gun, because that shit is also in 6.8. So obviously the two best. Oh, you sound so close. The two best bullets in the game are 6.8 and 7.62 by 51. 7.62 by 51 is more technically theoretically accessible than 6.8, but 6.8 I believe is better, although I will neither confirm nor deny. I mean, it's just kind of the unfortunate fact that because, you know, 6.8 is just so absolutely absolutely inaccessible that yeah, just the whole it just kind of gets bumped up because of because of how, you know, absolutely overpowered it is. So, yeah, it just so happens to be that unfortunately you can no longer buy MCX spears in the mark in the marketplace. I mean, they're starting. I believe there's talk that next wipe they're gonna completely phase out like buying guns in Inspector and stuff, and then they're gonna open the player market. I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work for PvE, but I definitely know that for me personally, I think I will kind of enjoy having to improvise using all like the bad weapons and stuff to you know to play the game, cause I mean then you know, if you see a gun you really like, you can go and buy it, and then people are gonna all have their favorite like not top tier guns, and then the only times you will see consistent guns are boss guns, which have every right to be consistent guns because they are supposed to be rare. Which means that the likelihood of you seeing them in the first place is not at all likely. So you don't really have anything to worry about in that stance either. So nothing to ever worry about. But you know, I could be wrong. I mean, it's complete speculation on whether they're actually planning to add it as a feature or not. But really. I dropped my pistol. Excuse me. Did you just crit hit me? Oh my god, you did. Unfortunately, due to, you know, just how rare it is to get an MCX spear, uh, you'd be hard pressed to find it in any raid at all, unless the guy just doesn't really care about you know, if he loses that spear or not. I mean, technically the spear, which can be basically found in any crate at a very low spawn percentage, but still, you know, you don't really want to toss away just some random just you don't really just want to toss away a gun that you know that if you lose it, you lose it for good. Because this thing, you can't buy it, so there's no insurance. It's gonna be gone forever if you lose it. So, yeah. I mean, I do believe I have 3 at the moment. If you're specifically hunting for MCX spears, I would probably say the safest bet for you to do is to go to vaults, specifically probably like Red Vault or something. So, uh, I, you know, You know what I just remembered? I remember this old video that I used to do where I put a fuck ton of effort into the video. Where I basically went. Okay, we're in panic mode. So basically, I put a fuck ton of effort into that video because I was basically like calculating how worth it was to how much value you would get out of every vault. And I guess I can kind of do that again, but this time I'm not calculating all the value in the vault because that took way too long and I'm way too impatient for that these days. You know, it's really funny. The quality of my videos have only gone down. The quality of my videos have only ever gone down from here, which is really, really fucking bad because I'm actually starting to gain traction on YouTube amongst other things. Oh yeah, wait, wasn't I supposed to? Huh, right. That is, I completely forgot that I was supposed to, that I was supposed to do stuff in, last raid on island. Crap. Well, now that I have the one-shot key card, actually, I could... The fuck? Connection terminated? That's my YouTube subscriber notification. And that must mean that someone has and Rocky just subscribed to me on YouTube, and I'm not even streaming, so thank you, Rocky, for subscribing. I guess congrats, you made it into a video. That's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, I had a mild heart attack when that happened. That was the last thing I expected. It was for my you know, alert box to go off while I'm recording a video of all things. You guys are gonna see that, by the way. Uh, what the hell? Oh well. But yeah, it's just yeah. So basically, yeah. I mean, this is the entire video. You know, it's just me running 3 raids with 3 of the most OP guns in the game. I guess so much so that they had to be nerfed. You know, when's the Marlin gonna get nerfed? That shit was pretty scary back in. That shit's pretty scary. Have you ever been shot at by 44 Magnum? It kind of hurts. I took down Tatra with it. Oh, all right. Enough waffling. I'll see you guys in at the outro for whatever, I guess. All right, and that is gonna be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Honestly, I have fun myself running all these overpowered weapons. Typically, I don't really run them. I mean, I will probably start running the FAL a lot because I reached Spectre 5 recently. But, you know, stuff like the spear, you don't get to run really often. But like I said, if you do want to find it, finding vaults are your best option. Red would definitely be the easiest way to find a spear. So, oops. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.